This mindset training is going to be on the incredible power of faith and non-resistance. If you are watching this, then something about that likely caught your attention. I've found over the years that many people who consider themselves to be spiritual individuals really do value faith in their life. But for people who have sort of had their inner falling out with God, the divine, whatever your upbringing impressed upon you as being this source energy, the creator energy, in many people's lives, there is some type of disconnect that occurs. Even those who consider themselves to be spiritual or religious individuals have had, in many cases, some type of inner conflict, some conflict that occurred between what they were told through their religious doctrines or their spiritual values and what they've personally experienced. And when we have a disconnect, we begin to question our ability to trust, to feel safe, practicing faith, having faith. And so many people are giving lip service to faith in a higher order, but there is a safety mechanism, a defense mechanism that is opposing their ability to truly be aligned and congruent with that faith, which is essentially where resistance comes in. Whenever we feel fear, whenever we're not trusting, when we're doubting, when we do not have faith, we are in a state of resistance. Resistance is a counterproductive energy. It's a counterproductive mindset, and it is vibrationally incongruent with what we want. When we surrender, we release resistance, we enter a non-resistant state, and in many cases, that's exactly when the problem will become resolved, the solution will present itself, the thing that was a stuck issue for us in the past somehow seems to resolve itself. And yet, even though we've all had these experiences in our life, there is still this tendency to not trust, to doubt, to resist in certain areas of our life. So I want you to think for a moment about an area in your life where you've been struggling. More than likely, it is an ongoing or very recent thing. For some of us, we've had certain challenges that have been a reoccurring pattern. And if we are really self-honest, I want you to notice that there is a part of you that is actively always trying to control through actions, through these outward types of behaviors or solutions. As business owners, this can be incredibly common when we're trying really hard, we're taking massive action, we are trying to out-action our misalignment, as I sometimes will say. It's all of the doing. And in many cases, it is not getting anywhere near the type of results that we want. Now, whether your challenge is with a physical body thing, maybe it's weight or it's a health thing, it could be in a relationship with your spouse or your children or employees or any number of different types of relationships in your life. It could be financial. It could be some other elusive goal that you've set for yourself, something that you so truly desire in your heart. And for some reason, you just cannot seem to grab a hold of it and create it. These areas we need to look at, and we need to be willing to see honestly and objectively that we are holding doubt and resistance. We could easily say that doubt is the opposite of faith. It's the opposite of trusting, and it's the opposite of belief. When we are able to surrender that doubt, we're able to surrender our resistance, and we enter into a state of non-resistance, the self-imposed blocks that we've created to what we want begin to fade away. And so you'll notice that within the Inner Game Academy, there are so many different videos and audios about releasing processes, whether it is energetic releasing, it is breathing, breath work type of processes that we're doing, it is EFT, the emotional freedom techniques, processes that we're using, meditation, where we surrender our conscious mind and we go into that deep, peaceful state. Throughout all of these different types of processes that we're using, what ultimately we are wanting to accomplish is surrendering our resistance. You've got to understand that there are these laws in action in our lives, and you can see evidence of them in those areas where you have absolute unwavering belief or absolute unwavering faith. You will see that the thing you desire and you hold in your heart and in your mind in a positive way, where you feel a sense of trust that it is in a state of becoming, it is going to happen, it is happening, it will happen. It is absolute. There is a different energy. There is a different mindset that you're embodying. And when you have that type of faith, that non-resistance, those things happen. And those areas where you have been struggling, where you've been trying to lose the weight or trying to make the money or trying to get the clients or trying, whatever the thing is that seems so elusive and challenging for you, you do not have that faith. You are in a state of trying to control, as though the laws of the universe are not applying to that area, that you somehow have to get in there and you have to wrestle that goal to the ground and dominate it in order to get what you want. And it doesn't work that way. That is why you're not making progress in those areas. So let's do a little bit of releasing work right now so we can enter into a non-resistant state and start to click into what does it feel like to know that you are divinely supported, to know that in this law-based universe, if you have a desire in your heart, then you can have it. You can create it. As we are going through this exercise, I'm just going to ask you to let your guard down just a little bit, to stop trying so hard to control, to be open to a better way of moving towards the fulfillment of that desire. And so, as we go into this now, I'm going to ask you to allow yourself to close your eyes, take a couple of nice deep cleansing breaths. We're going to enter into a more grounded, centered, present state. And so with your eyes closed, you can drop your head down just a little bit. It helps us to disengage from the mental chatter and brings ourselves more present into our body and into this moment. And as you take some very intentional, nice, deep, comfortable cleansing breaths, notice that when you breathe in, you're feeling a little more comfortable. And as you breathe out, you're releasing, relaxing, letting go, breathing out any stress, any tension, any resistance, any fears, any doubts. With every exhale, breathing it out, releasing and letting it go. And as you continue to breathe much more gently and comfortably, you still are allowing yourself to release, to surrender, to process out those various different emotions, those various different sensations in the body. Breathing in a little more comfort, a little more peace with each and every breath. And breathing out any fear, any doubt, any worry, any struggle, any stress, breathing it out, releasing and letting it go. And as you continue to breathe out any of those uncomfortable feelings, whether it's uncomfortable emotions, tension in your body, feeling any type of constriction or resistance, physically, mentally, or emotionally, just gently breathe it out, release, and let it go. And what do you believe? What do you believe about your worthiness to receive the things that your heart desires? You bought into a lie-based belief that you have to work really hard. Let the feelings come up and let those feelings pass through. Breathe it out, release, and let it go. If you bought into a belief that it's not possible for you, breathe that out. Whatever feelings that evokes, let it come up, let it pass through, release, and let it go. Breathing it out. It's just energy. We're going to release and let go of the feelings. We're not trying to change anything. We're not trying to control. We're not trying to manipulate. We're not children having a temper tantrum, trying to manipulate God or the divine or anyone else so that we can have our way. When we're in alignment, meaning a state of non-resistance, things have an incredible way of unfolding. As you think about the things that you've accomplished in your life, whether they're big or small, times when maybe you've really been struggling and somehow, some way, everything worked out for you and it almost seemed miraculous in some respects. Things where you've had faith, so much faith, you didn't know why and you didn't know how, but it happened. We see so much evidence if we're willing to notice it, that this is an abundant universe. There is so much good for us, so much support for us when we simply allow ourselves to be in that state of trusting, of faith, of non-resistance. And of course, we love action, but we want the right kind of action. We want aligned, inspired action. We want to be moved, compelled to take action from the right mindset, from the right energy, Those things that you've accomplished in the past, you were compelled to take certain actions. So we value action. We just value the right kind of action. And when you're taking action because you're trying to control, because you don't truly believe, because you're doubting or fearful, notice that action is rarely, if ever, effective. And so, are you willing to let go of trying to control? Let those feelings come up, breathe them out, release, and let it go. And what if there truly is a way for you to be, to do, to have what your heart desires? And could you allow yourself to be supported? To be divinely supported, to see the evidence of your support showing up in all sorts of wonderful ways. Through people, through circumstances. And if there's any resistance to that, if you're still trying to control from a place of fear, doubt, insecurity, let it come up, let it pass through, breathe it out, release, and let it go. What if not only is it possible, but it could be easier than you've ever allowed it to be in the past? By simply surrendering, releasing, letting go, not giving up, surrendering. Very different energies. Are you willing to surrender the struggle? Surrender trying to control. Surrender and release any fear. Allow yourself to move vibrationally from fear and doubt and disbelief up into faith. What does it feel like to know that the universe, the divine, it's got your back? You can surrender trying to control, trying to make it happen, and allow yourself to be guided, to be supported, to be inspired to take certain actions, to feel compelled to make certain phone calls or do certain things, but always with a knowingness that you are only following those impulses and you're checking in with your inner guidance. And when it feels like you're trying to force, you're trying to control, you take a step back and you release and let go of the resistance, the fear, the wanting control. Release and let it go. Recalibrate yourself mentally, emotionally, and vibrationally. And feel into, what can I do right now to feel better? Sometimes that means doing something like going for a walk or something else healthy and empowering that makes your heart happy, to raise your energy, to change your mental, emotional, vibrational state. And sometimes you'll just notice, I am inspired to take this action. I just needed to clear my head. I just needed to get my energy right. I needed to get my mind right. What does faith feel like to you? What does it mean to you to have faith in that divine support? To know in your heart that life truly can be good for you and is supposed to be good for you. And any old beliefs you're still holding on to, that life is hard, it's a struggle, you have to claw your way to the top, you have to try to prove yourself worthy of everything that you have. Are you willing to let that stuff go? They're just feelings. It's just old crap that people have said to you. It is not congruent with any laws of the universe. Are you willing to let it go? You don't have to prove your worth to breathe oxygen or to drink water. What would make you think that you need to prove your worthiness to be a happy, empowered human being? It's ridiculous. Are you willing to let it go? You do not have to prove your worthiness to have a healthy body. You are gifted a body. You are not gifted a diseased, dysfunctional, incapable body. You're born in to a world that is so full of abundance. Look around. There's no scarcity of trees or plants or oxygen or water. And any belief that there is lack can be challenged and should be challenged, because if you look around, there's so much evidence of abundance. You are not excluded from abundance. Those are just false beliefs. Are you willing to let those feelings come up? Let them pass through, release and let it go. Breathe it out. Feel into surrendered faith. If there's any resistance, breathe it out. And find a place within yourself where you feel peace. Just reside in that space. Be present with that feeling. And when you're ready, you can allow your eyes to open and you can continue on with your day in whatever way feels most inspired and aligned. And remember that there is so much support for you here. If there's anything else that we can do for you, reach out to us at support@aliciakramer.com. And until next time, we will see you in another video.